Hey, y'all. I'm Ron, the Wanderer. And I say the Wanderer because I'm always thinking. Always. I always got something on my mind. I know you too. You always got something on your mind as well. So I want to know whether or not what I'm about to read from cue cards, because I can't remember everything, but I wrote things down. And I wonder if you can relate. If you can, just follow me, you know, and write in the comments whether or not you can relate. So this one is called The Thought. So I don't always look into the camera because I'm trying to read the cue card, okay? The Thought. I wonder, where did thoughts come from? It's not physical. Thoughts aren't physical. That's just something you can't even grab in the air. It's just non-tangible. I could say it comes from our nervous system, but that's not realistic. Nah. A thought seems to appear out of nowhere. It just pops up, I could be sitting here eating an apple, chilling out, watching TV, and then all of a sudden something comes in my head to think about. Like, where did that come from? Does thought come from thinking? What makes us think? Why do we think? Does thinking appear when my nervous system tells my body to eat, or does my body tell my nervous system it's hungry? I wonder which one it is. You ever wonder which one it is? If this is so, my body must be alive, my nervous system must be conscious. And if so, then they must work together for an experience to serve a spirit, for the lack of a better word. I don't know a better word other than the spirit, you know. That thing that talks to me doesn't talk to me loud and boisterous and angry. It just talks to me with a whisper. Hey, don't go over there. Hey, maybe you need to call somebody. That's what my spirit talks. How my spirit talks to me. So I have to relax myself. So does the spirit control our thoughts? I wonder. Do you wonder that? When thinking of something, it seems to be appropriate for it to manifest. So when I think of something, if my energy aligns with the frequency, does it manifest what I think about? I wonder. But why? I believe that if this was not so, then there would be no existence. The reality is we do exist. And because of this, there's a purpose. The purpose is to feel physically, mentally, spiritually. And that is our purpose. Because I've often realized that my existence here now is I feel. I feel physically. If you punch me, pinch me, I feel it. Emotionally, if you say you love me, I feel that. If you have sex with me, I feel that. If you hate me, if you tell me all kinds of nasty things at me, I feel that, And spiritually, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I know it's not right. I feel that. And it makes me want to change something about myself. So this brings about emotions. That's what I'm talking about. Emotions brings about standards or boundaries or right and wrong. This brings on a reason for thought to appear. This isn't by chance, it's by purpose. And the purpose is to feel. And I don't know what the feeling of, why the feeling is the purpose, but let's listen to what I wrote. As mentioned before, it's for the purpose of existence. Oh, I exist. I'm the observer in this avatar. If my body is a spirit, then this body that I'm in is an avatar, and it's aligned together to feel everything. I think and remember everything. I think, you hear I said I think and remember everything. This is what we call life. Life doesn't just happen, it manifests by us. It's manifested by us. Occurrences happen outside ourselves that conveniently gives us the opportunity to think of the right and wrong way to deal with it. Our emotions are involved the whole time. This helps us to choose the way to go. This is what existence is all about. Wow. This is what existence is all about. I can choose to have whatever I want as long as it's in the right way or it's in the wrong way. But if that's the case, I have to have boundaries or standards for either the right way or the wrong way. You know, this is the existence. But the purpose of this existence in choosing, to me, I don't know about you, but it seems like this is the way I have to be to have life be more abundant in or more purpose. Thoughts will always be there for the existence to have. Purpose. Oh. Now to choose what purpose is for demands on how our emotions generate right or wrong. This depends on what feels appropriate for the circumstance. I don't want to murder, so my emotions is to forgive myself for thinking about it. How about that? I don't want to feel that wrong way of doing something, so I have to change the way I think. I feel angry, so I want to control the inferiority complex in another person. See, if I'm angry, I want to control you to feel better about myself. If resisted, I would tend to extreme measures to control, including violence, demoralizing another, or death of another. See, it gets really deep, how far I go with my emotions. And we're talking about emotions that make us feel like, excuse me, that make our emotions makes us feel like there is no right way of doing things except the way I think that it should go. And there you go again, the way I think. And what I think might be right or might be wrong. See, and that's what I told you before. Once I think of something that is in my emotions, once I think about it and I feel about it and my emotions come up, I have to set a boundary, whether it's good or bad, whether I should do this or not, whether it's right or wrong. I may think this is the correct way of dealing with my inferiority complex because I am in thought of self. See what I'm talking about? Being self-centered. Nothing matters except what I feel. This is called self-centeredness. See? And I've been in self-centeredness a long time. Many of us has been in self-centeredness. We can sit there and say, I ain't never been in self-centered. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. If you're married and your wife cooked enough food because you're struggling to save some money near the end of the month, she cooked enough food for the next few days and you eat some and it's really good, and then you want to have a second plate or even a third plate, and she gets mad, you wonder why she's mad, because you forgot that she cooked enough for the next few days so you can survive. And you're not caring what the purpose is. You're just into yourself, not into what someone else feels, which is your wife. I feel this is called self-centeredness. My emotions chooses this because it feels good in my mind. See, it's only what I think. Everything's about what I think, what I feel, and what matters to me. Me, 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 me only. This we understand as negative thinking. Oh, wow. So I don't just have thoughts. I have either negative thinking or positive thinking. And so far, what we're talking about now is negative thinking. And when I'm into myself and not someone else, it's all a negative thinking. Now, don't get me wrong. We think things for ourselves and it's okay. You know, we're important as well. But when it comes to others in our life, we must, well, no, we don't must. We should, if you want to, think on others, a negative sense of our own self. Replace it with a positive concern for others. This thought comes from my emotional view. However, I can think I choose a more positive emotion, love. This will make me not be so self-centered and be conscious of another. See, that's what I was just talking about. I have a choice to choose whether I think negative or think positive. I just told you that. Do you think the same way? Doing for another and thinking of another when they are not near me, romanticizing another because of my emotions are heightened about another, willing to sacrifice my time, sex, money, my boundaries because I think they feel what I feel. Not always that. They may not even think what I feel. I just feel that. I have unrealistic expectations on them. And I feel good about them until reality sets in and I have no reciprocation. See what I'm talking about? No reciprocation. See, because it's only me thinking of what I think. I have no reciprocation of what I've been giving because my thoughts is an illusion. See, because I'm thinking about what I want, and I think that what I want, you should want it. That's unrealistic expectation. You see me getting tongue-tied. Unrealistic expectation. You know, and I have to be aware of my unrealistic expectation because everybody's not in the same thought mind process that I'm in. My thinking is what is right. My thinking of what is right should be an even exchange until it's not. I cannot control the individual, therefore I might resort to self-centered thinking again. And the negative cycle begins again. See, I don't want the negative cycle because that negative cycle causes me pain. Has it caused you pain? Have you been in pain from thinking negative ways and thinking that it was right, but it really wasn't right to the other person? So they give you their view and they react and they may not be the way you thought it should go. So you got pain behind it, emotional pain. Sometimes physical, but emotional pain. But I thought this was positive thinking. Say, I think that it was right, but it could be wrong. I just think that it is. So my thinking can be distorted. There's something in my head that distorts logic. Not realizing that my thoughts had conditions and were not being met, either negative or positive. My thoughts were not unconditional. It was the way I wanted it to be, not accepting others' points of view. Just my own unconditional acceptance helps me to think more positive. Wow. Wow. I can't put conditions on things. I can't. I mean, I can if I want to sacrifice the way I feel. And remember I said, my thinking brings about emotions, and my emotions allows me to feel that what I believe is right, the way I think. And my thinking could be distorted and make me think that what is right could be wrong. You thought that way too? How many times have you thought the thing that was right was wrong, and to someone else, they thought it was wrong, but you thought it was right, and you wondered what's their problem? But it wasn't their problem. We just didn't accept that they thought something different and had to be the way I think. And that makes me feel like I'm always right. How many of you always thought you was right? Instead of being resentful, I can be loving and forgive myself for thinking selfishly. See, I can have a little kindness to myself. I can think more positive. My thoughts matter when interacting with other people. In order to exist positively, I must think positively. How about that? In order to exist negatively, I have to think negatively. But do I want to think negatively? Because I just told you, negative thinking causes me pain because I have unrealistic expectation on other people thinking that because I think this way, they should think this way. And if they think differently, I get upset and want to react negatively because I'm already thinking negative. So It's darn near impossible for me to think positive when my mindset is negative. So I have to change the way I think. Got to have some discipline with myself. I must be in a spiritual state of being in order for my thoughts to be unconditional in all things. Wow. So, a spiritual state of being. So, my spirit that's in me, didn't we talk about the spirit within us earlier? If it's in me, and I told you my spirit talks to me quietly, and it always steers me in the right direction. I told you it doesn't speak to me boastfully, loudly, or anxiety, or exaggeration. It just talks to me and tells me, don't go in that direction. It tells me, call this person. It tells me, you need to go get this checked out. And if I don't do it, I might cause a problem for my own self. If I go against what my spirit tells me, then all of a sudden, I'm in trouble. My carnal thoughts are selfish, and my spiritual thoughts are selfless. In order to exist positively, I must be spiritual. Therefore, my thoughts has purpose. Wow. Wow. My thought must have purpose. So I must think spiritually in order to think positively. Because once I think carnal-like, fleshly-like, it's never positive. It's always a thing that I want to feel and want to happen because of the way I think carnally. You know, I want to feel physically, and I get involved with things physically. I want to think emotionally, and I want to get involved with things emotionally. Therefore, my spirit is corrupt. And I don't need my spirit to be corrupt because it keeps me in a negative state of mind. And my thinking becomes negative. You know, stealing, deceiving somebody, lying to them, being aggressive to them, cussing them out. One of the F you, those types of attitudes, and my attitude. And when I think on a negative way and I feel these negative things and I feel like I think, I tend to manifest the negative things that I think, and it's not a good thing. And when people see me, they go, oh boy, here he is again. They think negative things about me because they can feel my spirit is negative. But if I start to think positive, and I discipline myself, my spirit is more positive. And when people see me, they want to be around me. They want more of what comes out of me because it's positive. It's helpful. It's edifying. So I must be aligned with the spirit. My physical body has to be aligned with my spirit in order to be spiritual. Now, I didn't say religious. I said spiritual. And be more positive. And I can manifest more positive things around me in my aura, and people can come to me just like a tree, and I bear good fruit from thinking positive, and they can pick the fruit off me and eat and become like me, positive. Or they can eat from the tree of negativity and have to get through the thorns and eat rotten fruit. And then all the thing you can hear is nastiness, and they bring that to other people and misdirect the anger. We don't have to misdirect anything when we're positive, because all things is good. So anyway, that's one of the things that I wrote, the thought, and I hope you can relate. And if so, put it in the comments. Let me know if you can relate, all right? Because I like to hear your comments. I'll read your comments. If there's a lot of comments, I read them all. I'd just like to know what you think, because these are the things that I think. Are you thinking the same thing? All right. I'm Ron the Wanderer.